Hello everyone, welcome to Easy Ganit. My name is Samir Sardana and today we have with us a very special person, Shekhar Suman from IIFT itself. Shekhar Suman is currently studying in IIFT, Delhi, and he is in 2019 batch. He's a 2019 batch student of IIFT. And today in this session, I'll be discussing a strategy to clear IIFT. And on the screen, you can see the exam pattern of IIFT and 2020 cutoff, IIFT 2020 cutoff will be uh, having inputs from Shekhar Suman about the exam pattern and how you should be utilizing the next 5 days to clear the cutoff of IIFT. What should be the strategy to attempt the paper? Let's have a discussion with Shekhar Suman. Hi, Shekhar, how are you?
Sir, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So I remember when in 2019 you went for IIFT. It was immediately, it was in the on the next Sunday of CAT. So you only had
Mhm.
6 days. So uh, can you tell us about your experience and what will be your advice to the student how they should be utilizing these 6 days for the IIFT exam?
Yes, sir. So basically, as it is the case with the most of people, they don't specifically prepare for IFT because CAT preparation is good enough. The same was the case for me. I prepared for CAT only. But in those 6 days of CAP, which was less, I think we get more time now. So in that time period, I only focused towards GK question because GK was something which was different and I had not prepared for. Although I used to study the Hindu and newspaper and articles, so that helped me a lot. But uh, for that period of time, I generally focused towards the GK part. Although in the exam, the strategy was slightly different from the CAT because there the speed is very important, the agility, the speed. This was an important factor. So yeah, so that's what I focused on.
Okay, I want to have a discussion on how the next 5 days students should be spending. I can see that if you look at the overall exam pattern, see Sekar, VARC is something which have the highest weightage, and this is a section which can give you the quick marks. The total cutoff, I guess, during your time, the cutoff in 2019 was around 130, and the last year it jumps to around 140, right? So if a
Yeah.
student have to target around 130 or 140 marks, let's say 140 is close to 45 questions, right? If I see the GK section apart, if I put the GK section apart, GK को अगर मैं side में रखता हूँ, तो you see that GK का cutoff 5 marks है, sectional cutoff, and sectional cutoff is very important to clear IFT, right?
Mm,
So five obviously we cannot prepare for these 20 out of 20 questions in this short span of time, है ना?
mm.
VARC आपको सेपरेट कुछ प्रिपेयर करने का जरूरत नहीं है, बट यस पेपर को अटेम्प्ट करने की जहां बात आती है तो आई गेस 35 क्वेश्चन में व्हाट डू यू थिंक व्हाट शुड बी द नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चन दैट स्टूडेंट शुड बी टारगेटिंग इन दिस 35 बिकॉज दिस आई वुड से द सेक्शन वेयर द स्टूडेंट शुड बी स्पेंडिंग द मैक्सिमम टाइम बिकॉज
Yeah,
क्वांट
exactly,
का
sir. I would.
जितने टाइम में आप क्वांट का एक क्वेश्चन करोगे उतने टाइम में आप VRC के 2 या 3 क्वेश्चन कर सकते हो. So VRC is a
Yeah.
section which give you quick marks and total we have only 120 minute, right? FT में हमारे पास total
Mm.
120 minute का time है. So
Yes, sir.
tell me the importance of VRC और कितने questions बच्चे को attempt करने चाहिए VRC section के अंदर, कितना time इसमें डालना चाहिए अगर मेरे बच्चे को 45 questions target करने हैं quant VRC और DILR में. 45 into 3 will give him will give the student around 135 marks, and then 7 to 8 marks in general awareness. I guess the student will clear the cutoff. So tell me about VARC. What should students should be targeting for VARC? पेपर को कैसे अटेम्प्ट करना चाहिए, सबसे पहला सेक्शन कौन सा चूज करना चाहिए, कितने नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चंस टारगेट करने चाहिए?
Yes, sir. So I think I totally agree with you. Like VRC is one thing that should be focused on. In fact, I would say that minimum you have to attempt at least 25 out of 35 questions, and I would say to the length that you should go for all the 35 questions because the timing is very less. You'll get you can solve 5 questions by the time you are solving DILR question because DILR is generally lengthy in IFT. So I think go at least for 25, but I would say that go for 35 also
Yeah, attempt
because
should
it's
be
manageable.
35 क्वेश्चन एंड
35. Yeah,
minimum 25 क्वेश्चन उसके सही होने
that
चाहिए.
should be सही होना चाहिए. Yes, sir. So that's what I totally believe in, and most of my batchmates have got this strategy. And I think for someone who has been very good at quantitative ability, the second focus should be in QA, because DILR section is although not that difficult, but it's quite lengthy. And I think IFT, as I told, it's a game of all speed. So VRC is something which would be acting as a tool for you to crack this exam. And as far as GA is considered, totally focus on the 6 days in on GA and try to prepare with a lot of YouTube videos or wherever you get, because the kind of GK that is asked is slightly different. It can be random. Some question might seem very abrupt, because I felt that. But those questions you can prepare for through various YouTube channels or something.
What
Like
would you
6 days,
recommend?
just
I mean,
devote
is
for
there
the G.
any specific section that students should be preparing for GK? जैसे GK में जो standard questions होते हैं, like sports GK or current affairs, because static GK is something which is huge, and students cannot do all those
Mhm.
static questions in the
Those.
next 5 or 6 days. So, what do you think? What are specific section wise the student should be targeting in general awareness? Can you name some
So
specifics?
the time I was preparing, I think the focus was more on, uh, you know, uh, the authors, the book they have written. In case, the Nobel Prize recently won. Also, like all the company about the companies, the logo of the companies,
Trends, Western,
about.
and logos.
Yes, sir. And also about generally, if we see the recent times, the farm laws are important. So recent developments regarding that, that's also important. Something related to trade, not a lot, but I think all the meetings that have been happening and all
Organizations and
the, yeah.
for you know these global meetings that are happening, right? The
Yeah,
meetings with
exactly. Global meetings that are happening. Some quotes also. In my time, there was some quotes which were asked that who was the person who has said this recently. So these things, I think, in my time, Raman Magnesese award was given to someone and given, and that was the question exactly asked. So this was something which clicked also. So recent news in, I think, 6 months of time, you can obviously go for many YouTube channels which are preparing for which are for preparation of UPSC. You can target that. There's 1 hours of YouTube videos which basically focus on the MCQs of GK. So this thing you can focus on. So these are some things which I focus on, and it worked pretty well for me for GA part.
let
Yes,
me
sir.
show
So
you the
GA part,
slide
this is
of
the.
let's write it down for the student itself, right? कि कहाँ कहाँ से बच्चों को जीके का अगर बच्चे को प्रिपेयर करना है, then if I have to write on the section, then you would suggest 6 month current affairs, right?
Yes,
Last
sir.
6 month current affairs. Then I guess Olympics would be important, right?
Yes,
Olympics, recently the
yes.
Olympics happened, right? And then the
And
awards,
international
awards.
meetings.
You should be
Yeah.
studying the global meetings, right? Global meetings and their agendas, right?
Mm.
And
Yes, sir.
then we can say the that awards, recent all the awards that has been happening, right?
Companies related news like company logo or some quotation goal of companies. These are sometimes asked also.
Logos
Logo
and
of
brand
companies.
ambassadors, right? So if student need to be very specific when
Yes.
it comes to GK, right? Because बहुत ज़्यादा GK नहीं पढ़ सकते हैं आप next 5 or 6 days. There's no point of covering all static GK. So there's a 5 marks is what you need. So on a safe side, even if you
Yes.
target around 8 to 9 questions, that means what you need is around 6 to 7 questions. And last 6 month current affairs, awards, sports GK is something that can easily cover, 6 to 7 question, and that is also something that can student easily target in the next 6 days, right?
Yes, exactly.
And then some trade
And
related
in
GK.
fact, time also like last 10 minutes can be given to GA, and
Okay,
that would
last
be
10
more
minutes
than
you would
enough.
say last 10 minutes. Okay. And VARC, I guess, should be the first session because this is something which is helping the student to clear the overall cutoff. Overall cutoff, as I told you, is 135. So 45 questions का बच्चे को पूरा target करना है. Right. So GK को तो overall cutoff में is not playing much role, but it is very important to clear the cutoff because ये sectional में आप बच्चे को बहुत help करता है. So 25 बच्चा minimum अगर verbal ability में question solve सही कर दे, है ना?
Mm.
Within 40 minute, right? 40 minute
Yeah.
में बच्चे को sectional test देने चाहिए because this is the preparation of CAT itself will be helping the students in the VARC section. I can see that. है ना?
Yes, sir.
So
Definitely.
last year RC synonym antonym is something that usually come in IIFT. 40 मिनट में बच्चे को 25 क्वेश्चन अगर यहाँ से टारगेट करे, and then I guess 10 questions in quant and 10 questions in DILR, the students will be able to
Yes,
get
sir.
45 plus questions for sure. And then there can be around 5 questions in general awareness also,
Yes, sir.
right?
That should be the
Anything else
strategy.
that
And
you
in
would like
fact,
to?
yes, sir. So apart from BRC, I think for someone like me who is an engineer who has been good at maths, then he should go for QA after BRC. But
Okay.
if not, then I think LR section is the one that one should jump for, because it's not very difficult and you can crack it. So LR also in some paragraphs are very easy to solve. You can, in fact, in VARC also some paragraphs are like that. You don't have to deep dive like CAT paragraphs. You can only skim through and look for the questions and answers of it. So this is one different thing from CAT which IFT gives. So yeah, this is the preparation. I think the strategy which should be followed.
Okay, okay. So, any suggestion from your end in the last 5 days, how the student should be utilizing the last 5 days apart from studying general awareness, the basics of general awareness, the topics that you have mentioned. Do you think there is something specific that students need to practice for IFT in the next 5 days in quant, verbal ability, reading comprehension, or in DALR?
So I think sometimes what happens, I'm also a person who generally is very rigid about moving on to some other question if I'm not able to solve one. So this is one thing which I practice on a lot, and I think that IIFT, it's a much bigger deal that you are able to move on from a question if you're not able to solve it, because the time is very less. So in this 5 days of time, I think you should go for as much mocks as you can give, and you should analyze them. And after that, the mock, you should analyze it whether I'm able to complete within the time limits or not. If not, you should focus on moving on from question to question, because there are enough questions to solve for in IFT. It would not be like you don't have question that you can solve. So I think that should be one thing that one can focus. Apart from that, I think it's a aptitude based exam. So most of the part is dependent, and everyone would have given CAT, so the preparation would be obviously top notch. Then I think confidence is the key role. I think you should go for with much confidence in IIFT, because it's a game of speed and time. And yeah, everything will be all right if there is a confidence in the exams. And sometimes people have even performed far better than CAT, because they are pretty much confident in IIFT. CAT is a little risky thing, and everyone is very stressed out. And there would be many people who would be failing in CAT, or maybe did not perform up to the level, but still, if they have performed and will perform pretty well in IIFT, because they have realized where they were lacking. Yes.
I remember the day of 2019 when you called me and said my cat did not goes well. So I helped you that you should be going for the next exam. I remember that day. Now, what will you say to motivate the students who have not given the cat to the level they have prepared for?
Yeah, exactly. For the CAT exams, since we have been preparing, I'm preparing for around 2.5 months. So I had less time, but I prepared pretty well, and I did not perform up to my level. And obviously, the confidence was one factor. I was very stressed at the time, and questions are not like you have prepared earlier, then you'll be able to solve it. It's much more like what's your mentality at that point of time. And I realized that it was very important for me to remain calm and focus on the questions, which I think I could have done much better than I did. Then that I realized in IFT, and I think it was no point stressing it out. And yeah, so I realized that people who were very confident were able to do better than me in spite of the fact that they did prepare less or something. But then I realized that, and in IFT, the one thing I would say that played role was my confidence, apart from my luck, obviously. So yeah, confidence was the one thing that helped me get through. And I think because this is one of the last exams that would be happening. I think ZAT would be happening apart from this. ZAT is very subjective, because there is a section which is very different from others, and it's difficult to crack. So this is one shot, and I think everyone should go for it without a doubt, straight of doubt, with confidence. And anyone who would be going for with confidence, If I can go, I can crack it. Anyone can if they are prepared.
All
Yes.
right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Shekhar Suman, for giving us this, inputs. And I'm sure students will be listening to you and follow this strategy, being confident and be more strategic about IFT. I also like to tell students that I have made a separate video on IFT where I have discussed how much time you should be spending on each section of the exam and also the cutoff of the last year, the section cutoff you can see on the screen, but there's separate video which tell you the topics from which the questions are coming in the last 2 to 3 years. Please refer to that video. I'll put the link of that video in the description part. And thanks a lot for watching the video. Thank you, Shekhar. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.